What is up, you guys? In today's video, we're going to be diving into the topic, when should I be sanding something versus planing something inside of my new woodworking business? All right, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm so glad that you're choosing to hang out with me, and I'm your host, Zach Vaught. And if you don't know me, I started my woodworking business in my garage, really struggled to get some traction, start making money, but then I started learning business principles, and these business principles really transformed my life and transformed my business. Ultimately, we were able to scale my woodworking business to over $75,000 per month. We had a full team of 7 employees, a 6,600 square foot shop, a showroom, a delivery truck, delivery driver, and all the while I was pretty removed from the business. And so I don't say that to brag, I say that to let you know I've made every mistake that could be made inside of a custom furniture or woodworking business, and I'm here to help you not make those mistakes and get where you're trying to go much faster. And so in this video in particular, we're going to be diving into this topic of when do I need to be using a planer, when do I need to be sanding, what is the difference? All right, so number one, we're going to talk about the planer, when to use a planer and when not to use a planer. So if you have a board with surface imperfections, you need to run that through a planer to give you a smooth surface. Now, you can sand on that board with surface imperfections, high spots, low spots, but it's going to be very difficult to get a completely flat, glass-like surface. What a planer does is it really accomplishes two things. It gives you a flat surface, and it also will thin a board out over time, the more passes that you run it through the planer. Now, if you have, let's say, for example, a 2-inch thick board and you need to get that 2-inch thick board down to 1 3/4 inches, it's going to take you a long time to sand 1/4 inch of thickness out of that board if you're using a sander. But you can run it through a thickness planer once or twice, and you can eat off 1/4 inch pretty quick, right, to get the thickness of the board down. Now, one thing that a lot of people think a planer can be used for, but it really can't, is pulling out warps or bows or twists out of a board. That's really when you need to be using a joiner. A joiner actually will give you a true, perfectly flat side to work with that you would then take to a planer. You put that flat side down and then run it through the planer, and the planer would eat the top side to match that bottom side. So if you have a warped or a twisted board, a planer really isn't going to pull that out like a joiner would. So hopefully that clears some things up. There's a lot of misconceptions around this idea. If you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, you think I'm full of crap, let me know in the comments, okay? So number one, using a planer for thicknessing and flattening large surface imperfections, okay? You need to use it when you have rough lumber. If you get rough lumber from the mill, rough lumber from the store, this is a great way to get to where you can see the wood grain and you give yourself a good starting point before you start sanding, okay? You want to use sanding for really getting that workpiece ready for finish. Okay, so what do I mean when I say that? So if you are building furniture, you need to be applying finish to your furniture. When I say applying finish, I'm not talking about stain. I'm talking about something that would go over the stain, like a polyurethane, like a lacquer, like something of that sort that's going to help protect that piece of furniture over the long haul. So with that, when we plane something, then after that, it's getting ready to be sanded. So when you're sanding, you can sand it as much or as little as you want. It just depends on what kind of look you're going for, what you're trying to accomplish. But most of the time, if you're putting some type of finish over what you're doing, you don't have to sand to super high grits. You don't have to go to 1,000 or 2,000 grit or anything like that. I would sand, honestly, up to about 120 or 150 grit. And then we would put multiple coats of our finish over that workpiece, and we would sand that in between each coat, and then that would get buttery smooth. All right. We just want to make sure that we get all the swirl marks from our sander out of the workpiece, because when we stain it, you're going to be able to see those swirl marks. Okay. So ultimately, for the best results, you want to combine both of these things. You want to be using a planer to get you started, get you a good flat surface, and then you want to be using a sander to get it really ready for stain and get it ready for finish. If you do both of these things well, you're sure to get a finished workpiece that's beautiful, that is going to ooh and awe your potential customers. And so with this, hopefully this video is helpful to you. If you're a brand new beginner, you're trying to figure this out, let me know in the comments below. I try to interact with as many comments as I possibly can and give you guys feedback to help you make some headway inside of your new woodworking business or custom furniture business. And so if you are a beginner, I got a couple resources I want to share with you. Number one is my free ebook, the Handmade Business Secrets ebook. To access it, all you got to do is click the first link in the description below, enter your name, your email, and we're going to send it over to you. It's about 100 pages long, and it really just outlines my personal story and my journey and the business principles that I learned to kind of take me to the next level and how you can do the exact same thing, okay? And then number two 2 is the Handmade Hero Academy program. It's really our entry-level program for those of you that are just getting started. You need some business principles, you need some business acumen to help you find the right products to sell, market them efficiently, build a website, launch a brand, get better photography, better videography. It's all of those things that you need in order to get where you're trying to go. So with that being said, love and appreciate you guys. If you haven't subscribed yet and you are a woodworker, you're a woodworking business owner, and you're trying to grow your woodworking business, this is the #1 channel, in my humble opinion, on YouTube that's going to help you do that. So be sure to like and subscribe. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.